Hello and welcome to VCC TV. This is Joseph Ryan. India has moved a step closer towards implementing the much-awaited goods and services tax as the lower house of parliament, Lok Sabha, cleared key legislations related to the bill. To discuss about the milestone, we have with us Aman Malik, Senior Assistant Editor. Now the government has set the July 1st deadline for the implementation of the goods and services in the tax. Now what is the next step towards ensuring that the target is met?
So all the central legislations that had to be done have been cleared. Now there is something called the SGST or the state's GST that has to be cleared by every state government. Considering the fact that the state governments have largely already ratified the GST, among them opposition governments have also, state governments led by opposition parties have also ratified that. I don't really see that there should be a problem. This should happen automatically in the next couple of months thereabouts. We are into April almost now, and after that we have about 3 months to implement the GST. If they run fast enough, they can probably complete start implementing the GST by July 1st. Else they'll have to sort of do it by September 1st, for which we have another 3 months to go. Now what essentially happens is, so I don't really see any hurdles per se, but what now goes on to happen is now the GST Council and some essentially takes over. That is one. That's a body of all the finance ministers of all the states and the union finance minister, as also the GST framework that is essentially being built. So now people will have to, traders or companies will have to now register with the GST body essentially. The GST network or the GSTN has already been set up. It's basically a company which is essentially not for profit. So basically these are the issues that now these are admin issues that need to be sorted out. And I don't really see much of a hurdle in that essentially happening.
Okay, so goods and services tax, it's been hailed as the biggest reform measure since the 1990s, the liberalization in the policy that happened. So, and many are saying that the implementation of GST will lead to an addition of some percentage and points into India's GDP growth. How far do you think the implementation of GDP is actually going to do that?
GST. See, what GST does is it makes taxation across the country seamless, barring a few commodities which are still outside of the ambit of GST, that is essentially petroleum and liquor. For the rest of most of the rest of the commodities, they're pretty much under GST, as are services. Now, what this does is, for instance, I was listening to somebody just today morning, and it was being said, an expert he essentially said that if it takes say about 60 hours to move a good from Delhi to Bombay, because of all the state level taxation and various other things that have to be done on the way, that will be reduced by as much as 10 hours once the GST comes into being, because a lot of taxation at the state level, in fact all of it will be subsumed within the GST. So what it will achieve is not just euphemistically one tax, one country. It will also mean that in certain cases, certainly the prices of goods could come down. So in some cases where goods are being taxed at a slightly higher rate than where they're taxed right now, because as you know there are 4 or 5 slabs within the GST system, certain goods will be costlier, but a lot of goods should actually come down, which should essentially mean that the economy will pick up over time. Of course, this is not going to happen immediately. And so when people are saying that a few percentage points will be added to the GDP, this is basically what they essentially mean.
Thank you so much for those insights, Aman. So India for now looks all set to implement the GST from July 1st. That's all we have in this edition of VCC TV. Thank you for watching us.